Hi everyone! Today we're going to be working up the butterfly market bag. As you can see, I've made two here, one in white using the 24/7 cotton, which is a little bit of a nicer feel cotton in my opinion, and one in a variegated cotton yarn using sugar and cream cotton yarn. That one is a little bit more sturdy and worked up a little bit bigger using the same size hook. We're going to create this butterfly image right into our bag, and then we're going to work up some simple single crochet straps. These bags, I have a butterfly image on both sides, so one side, front and back. On that side, we are using the Filet Crochet method to create this butterfly. Most of the bag is just this mesh stitch, or in Filet Crochet are spaces. For this project, I am using a 5.5mm crochet hook and some sugar and cream cotton yarn. This is a 4-weight cotton yarn, and it tends to be a little bit more sturdy, but you can use any cotton yarn that you have available. You'll need approximately 240 yards for one of these bags. This particular ball of yarn has 120 yards. I have 3 of these just to be safe. We're going to start with a slip knot on our hook, and you're going to want to chain 40 chains to start. Working back into the 4th chain away from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to work a half double crochet and a half double crochet into each stitch, each chain, all the way back down our foundation chain. So a half double crochet into each stitch. At the end of row 1, you should have 38 total stitches. We're going to work one more half double crochet row. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work a half double crochet right into that same stitch, and a half double crochet into each stitch all the way across for row 2, and this will give us a foundation for the base of our bag at the bottom, and we will start working in the round at the end of this row. So for this row, we're just working a half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. At the end of this row, don't forget to work a half double crochet into the top of that turning chain. So you have your 38 total half double crochets running across the bottom. We're going to start working in rounds now. For round 3, we're going to chain 1, turn. We're going to work 2 single crochets into that very first stitch. So work 2 single crochets. We're going to work 1 single crochet all the way across into the next 36 stitches. So 1 single crochet into the next 36. I'm at the end. Right there is my last stitch. We're going to work 2 single crochets into that last stitch. This is kind of where we go around the corner now. We're going to work into the side stitches, the sides of our half double crochets. We just want a single crochet into each of those side stitches. So basically 2 single crochets on the end here, on the edge. And now we're back around to a corner. We're going to work into this very first stitch here from our foundation row, and we're going to work 2 single crochets into that corner stitch. And now we want a single crochet along these foundation chain stitches, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next 36. So just try to work into those stitches that are right off of our first row. Sometimes they're a little bit tricky because they're from the chain row. As long as you have 36 single crochets before you get to the other end, then that's all that matters. Once we finish this third round, we're going to have a certain number of stitches that needs to be our base for the filet crochet market bag and butterfly pattern to come together. So work a single crochet back along into the next 36. I'm at the other end. I've worked 36 single crochets, 1 single crochet into the next 36. We have a corner stitch here. We're going to work 2 single crochets into it for the corner. We're at our sides now. Here's where we started with the first 2 single crochets for that corner. We're at the other side where we're working into the sides of our half double crochets, and what we're going to do is just work a single crochet into each of those sides. So 1 single crochet, find the next as evenly as you can, work a single crochet into that, find your first stitch that you did, that first single crochet, and you just want to slip stitch to join the round. At the end of round 3, you can go ahead and count your stitches, but you should have a total of 84 stitches all the way around. Once you've confirmed that you have 84 total stitches, we're going to start working the market bag up. So we're going to start working the filet crochet spaces pattern for this next round, which is round 4. To start round 4, we need to chain 5. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and work a double crochet into the next. We've created a space. We're going to do this all the way around. So we chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, just to create our mesh pattern. So chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, all the way around. When you get back to this beginning, we should have a total of 28 of these chain 2 spaces. Around the corners, we're just doing the same thing. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. So just because it's a corner, you don't treat it any differently. Chain 2, just make sure you're not double counting a stitch. That's the stitch that I double crocheted into, so I need to skip the next 2 and work a double crochet in the next. Chain 2, and just turn your work as you're going. Skip 2, double crochet in the next. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. And it sort of looks like this. Now we're going to flip this shortly, so our inside, where our tail is, will be on the inside of our bag, and we'll be working around with the outside facing outward. So at the end, here's where I started. That was my chain 5. You can see I have 2 stitches left on the end. There's the last space that I worked. In order to finish, we're just going to chain 2, skip 2, and work a slip stitch into the third chain of our chain 5 that we did to start. So 1, 2, that third chain, I'm just going to slip stitch, and that will join our round. So there's my last space. I'm going to go ahead, count all my spaces, make sure that I have 28 before I start round 5. Once you have confirmed that you have 28 spaces all the way around, we can start rows 5 through 8. They're the same exact mesh pattern. So we're going to create 28 spaces once again for rows 5 through 8. So we're going to chain 5 to start. And this will be the same for each of those rows. You're always going to chain 5, skip those 2 spaces, double crochet into the top of the double crochet, so into the next. So we've created a space right on top of our space. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, which will always be over top of the double crochet from your previous row. So that's all we're doing, creating those spaces, a chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, all the way around. We're going to join just like we did for round 4. You end with a chain 2, skip 2, and a slip stitch into the 3rd chain of your chain 5, and then you start over again. So you're going to work this for rows 5 through 8. And then we will start row 9 working that butterfly motif into our bag. You can see we have started to build up the bottom of our market bag. And there is the base down there, and there is our 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of just the mesh stitch. Row 9, we now start to create that butterfly motif in the middle of each side of our bag. So I will try to put the butterfly graph image up in one of these corners here so you guys can see as I'm working this and follow along. I will also have that butterfly graph at the end of the video, so if you wanted to skip ahead, take a screenshot, and then come back to this part, that is perfectly fine as well. For row 9, we're going to start with a chain 5. We're going to skip those 2, work a double crochet in the next, so we're creating a space. We're going to create 2 more spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. So you should have 3 spaces to start. We're going to work a double crochet into the next 6 stitches. So I'm going to work in the actual chains, work a double crochet into both of those, chain 2, those can be a little bit tight. So I've got 2 double crochets, double crochet into the next, that's 3. Going to double crochet into the next 3 as well. And I've created 2 blocks. So we start with 3 spaces and 2 blocks. We need a space, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. We need a block, so I'm going to double crochet in the next 3. We need a space, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. 2 blocks, so a double crochet in the next 6, we need 7 spaces, so I'm going to work my chain 2, skip 2, double crochet 7 times. So it should be over the next 7 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that would be my last space, and then we start working the butterfly on the other side. So we're just working those 7 spaces in between the next start of the butterfly on the opposite side. Now we're going to do the same pattern on this side. So I've kind of matched up where I am. You can see on that side, those are my blocks. So these next 2 spaces will be, I'll work a block over those 2, and then we've got a space, block. So we're working the same thing just on the opposite side of our bag. At the end, we should have, including our 3 spaces that we started with, we should end with 4 spaces on this side, join with a slip stitch, and have 7 total spaces on this side, which will match this side over here. So we're going to work 2 blocks, so I need a double crochet in the next 6, I need a space, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. I need a block, so I'm going to double crochet the next 3. I need a space, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. I need 2 blocks, so I'm going to double crochet in the next 6. I have 4 spaces left. I'm going to work a space over those last 4 spaces. So a chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 3 times. That gives me my 3 spaces right there, ending with a chain 2 and a slip stitch to the 3rd chain from that chain 5 to join. And that is our first round where we create that butterfly, round 9. So round 10 and 11 are exactly the same. So we're going to start with a chain 5, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and that gives us our first space for round 10, and round 11 will be exactly the same. So I'm just going to show you round 10 and then just repeat this round for round 11 as well. We're going to work another space, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and that gives us our 2 spaces to start this round. We need to work a double crochet into the next 27 stitches. So this will equal a total of 9 blocks. So I'm going to go ahead, work a double crochet in the next 27. After your 27 double crochets, you should have worked over that space here, right there. We're going to work 5 spaces, so we need a chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 5 times for 5 total spaces. We're back around on the other side. We need a double crochet in the next 27 to match what we did on that first side. After your 27 double crochets, you should have 3 spaces left. So we're going to work 3 spaces. We're going to work a chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next twice. So there's one space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. For our second space, and to create that last space, we end with a chain 2, skip 2, and slip stitch to the third chain from the chain 5. And that is round 10. Round 11 is exactly the same as round 10, so just repeat round 10, and I will meet you back here for round 12. For row 12, we're starting with a chain 5, skip 2, double crochet into the next, and that gives us our first space of round 12. We're going to work 2 more spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip those 2 double crochets and double crochet into the next. So we're starting with 3 spaces. We need a double crochet over the next 21 stitches. We need 7 spaces, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next a total of 7 times. We're back on the other side. I need a double crochet into each of the next 21 stitches. After your 21 double crochets, we're going to work 4 spaces. So chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 3 times. And for our last space, we just chain 2, skip 2, and work a slip stitch into that top of the third chain of our chain 5. And that is row 12. For row 13, we are going to repeat the same pattern that we did for row 10. So that is going to be these rows 10 and 11. What we did for those rows, we're going to do for row 13. Rows 14 and 15 are exactly the same. So I'm going to show you row 14 and then just repeat this row for row 15 as well. Chain 5, skip 2, double crochet into the next, and that gives us our first space. We are going to double crochet into the next 33. After you've worked a double crochet over those 33 stitches, we're going to create 3 spaces, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and one more time, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. We're on the other side now. We're going to do exactly what we did before. We need a double crochet into the next 33 stitches. We're going to end with 2 spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. That gives us 1 space, chain 2, skip 2, and slip stitch into that third chain from the bottom. So that was row 14. You're going to do the exact same thing for row 15. And then I'll meet you back here for row 16. We are on row 16 now. We're going to start with a chain 5. Skip 2, double crochet in the next. That gives us our first space. We need 4 blocks, so we're going to work a double crochet in the next 12. We need a space, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. We need a block, so I'm going to double crochet in the next 3. And we need a space, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. We need 4 blocks, so a double crochet into the next 12. You should be over top of that last double crochet. You've worked blocks over blocks. We are now at the side of our bag where we have those 3 spaces. We're going to work 3 spaces. So chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 3 times. And that gets us around our side. So now we're on the opposite side. We need 4 blocks. So we're going to double crochet into the next 12. We now need a space, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. And then we need a block, so I'm going to double crochet in the next 3. And a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. And 4 blocks at the end, a double crochet into the next 12. At the end you should have 2 spaces left. We're going to work a space over those 2 spaces, so we need to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, and to create our last space, chain 2, skip 2, and find that third chain from your chain 5 and just slip stitch into that chain. And that is round 16. For round 17 we're going to start again with a chain 5, skip 2, double crochet into the next. We're going to work a double crochet over the next 9 stitches. We're going to work a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. We're going to work a double crochet over the next 9. After those 9, we're going to work a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. And now we're going to work 3 blocks, which is a double crochet over the next 9 stitches. We're now at our side with those 3 spaces. We're going to work 3 spaces. So chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 3 times. And that got us around our bag. We're back on the opposite side now. we're going to work a double crochet over the next 9. Now we need a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. We now need a double crochet into the next 9 stitches. We now need a space, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, and a double crochet over those last 9 double crochets. So 1 double crochet into the next 9. We're back at the end. We have 2 spaces. We're going to work 2 spaces, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, and we end with a chain 2, skip 2, and a slip stitch to the 3rd chain of your chain 5 to join. For row 18, we're going to start with a chain 5, skip 2, double crochet into the next, and we're going to work 4 spaces after this. So we want to do the chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 4 times. So we'll have a total of 5 spaces to start, including that starting first space. We're going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1 double crochet into each of the next 3. That will create 1 block. We're going to create a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next for a space, and we're going to create a block. So we're going to work a double crochet over the next 3 stitches. We need to create 11 spaces to get all the way around to the other side. So we're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 11 times. You should be right here over top of that space from the previous row. We're going to work a block, so we're going to work a double crochet in the next 3. We're going to work a space, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. We're going to work a block, so a double crochet in the next 3. And now we're going to work spaces all the way back. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 5 times. And after that 5th one, you'll notice you're at the end. So we always end with a chain 2, skip 2, and then slip stitch in the top, the 3rd chain of that chain 5. And that joins the round. And now you can see that we have created our little butterfly image. Now we just need to work the bag up a little bit, so we're just going to work that mesh stitching. So for rows 19 through 23, you're going to start in the same way. You're going to chain 5, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and then you're going to work that mesh space pattern. You're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, all the way around. And you always want to end with that chain 2 slip stitch into the 3rd chain of your chain 5 to join. And you're going to do this for rows 19 through 23. So for 5 rows, you're just working that mesh stitch like we worked down here for rows 5, 6, 7, those beginning rows of building our bag. After you've joined that last round, so you've worked all of your mesh stitching we're going to work a few rows of single crochet to create that top border. To do that, chain 1, and we're going to single crochet right into that same stitch that we chained out of, and that is our first stitch of the round. I like to stick a stitch marker in that first single crochet, and that will just remind me that that is the actual first stitch. Into every stitch all the way around, we're going to work a single crochet. So just work a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. You should have approximately 84 stitches all the way around, although since this is just the finishing row, you're not really worried about counting stitches, but you don't want to add too many extra or have too few either. So try to stick right around that 84 stitch mark for these final few rows of single crochet. So I'm going to work this around, and I will show you how to join the round when I get back here, and then we're going to repeat this row a few times. So for rows 24, 25, and 26, 3 rows, we're just going to work the single crochet all the way around. I'm back around. There's my stitch marker. There's my first single crochet that I did. I've just worked a single crochet into those last two chain 2, I guess. This is where we started the round. You'll see there's like a false stitch right there. This is where you can inadvertently add extra stitches that you don't really need. All I want to do is slip stitch. I want to skip the false stitch right here and slip stitch where my stitch marker is. And that's why I like to have that stitch marker, because if it wasn't here, it would be really hard to see which stitch was my first stitch. So I'm going to go ahead, slip stitch to join, and I want to repeat this round 2 more times. So that first round was a little bit more difficult because we had to work into those chain 2 stitches, and those can be a little bit tight. These next 2 rounds are going to be much easier because we have actual nice single crochet stitches to work into. We're going to chain 1 and work a single crochet into that same stitch that we just chained out of. So work your single crochet. There's your first stitch. I'm going to pick up my stitch marker and again just slip it around that first single crochet so I know where to slip stitch to join when I get back around. And then we're just working a single crochet all the way around. So repeat that single crochet round for 2 more rounds, so you should have a total of 3 single crochet rounds for that top border. Now if you want to add a few more, go right ahead. If you would prefer to have a little bit more of a solid border for your market bag, then go ahead and do that. This is just kind of to give it some sturdiness and to have a finishing edge on the bag. Once you have finished your single crochet rounds and joined, you can pull up on your hook a little bit, cut your yarn, pull that hook up and that yarn through, tighten it up. You're going to want to weave in all of your ends. So you should have an end here, and then on the inside, at the very bottom of our bag, you can see where I've started right here. I'm going to weave that tail in, and if you had to change yarns and join in a new ball of yarn, you'll have those tails as well. So I'm going to go ahead, weave in all of these tails, and then we'll work on the strap. For the strap, we're just going to put a slip knot on our hook. We're going to chain 7. And and we're just working single crochets all the way back. So into that second chain from your hook, just work a single crochet, and into every stitch or chain all the way across, just work a single crochet. You should have 6 total stitches. So we've got that one on the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to chain 1, and this is how we work the entire strap, back and forth in rows. Chain 1, turn, work a single crochet in that first chain or stitch, and a single crochet into the next 5. So you're always going to have 6 total stitches running across the strap. And you're just going to keep repeating this chain 1, turn, and work a single crochet into every chain or stitch all the way back. I worked my total strap length for 86 rows of just single crochet, but you can obviously customize this. I've gotten all of my ends woven in on my main market bag. I have created the strap approximately 86 single crochet rows. You want to try to leave a decent tail at the end just to weave it in and attach it to your bag. Now this is my starting tail. I think this will be enough, but you want to try to remember to leave a little bit extra when you first start this strap and at the end, just so you have enough so you can sew that strap onto the bag. So if you're looking at your bag, they're exactly the same on both sides. You'll notice that you have those 3 spaces in between the outermost part of that butterfly image on each side. So you should have those 3 spaces on each side. So if you find those last double crochet blocks, you'll have those 3 spaces. In that middle space, that is the exact middle of the side of your bag. So you can always put a stitch marker to mark that off. Same on this side as well. You want to find that middle space, so that middle one, and just follow it all the way up, and that will be your middle where you want to sew that strap on. So all you're going to want to do is just place your strap right around that center area. That center space should be those 2 single crochets in the middle. You'll have 2 over here and 2 over here. Use your tail to sew that on to your bag. I like to sew it on the inside a little bit, and you just want to make sure that as you're sewing this on, you're going through back and forth as many stitches as you can with your tail. If your tail isn't long enough, you may have to grab an extra piece of your yarn and just keep sewing it in so it's nice and sturdy and nice and tight. So I'm going to go ahead, sew this one on, and then I will show you how to match it up on the other side. Alright, so you can see I have sewn on this side, and I want to just make sure that this is straight and not twisted around. So when I'm going to sew on this side, I want to make sure that that strap is going to be all one way and not twisted around. So you can always hold this up, you can pin it, make sure that your strap is flat and straight and not twisted and in the right spot, and then you would just find your middle of those 3 spaces, follow that up, and that's your exact middle. So the middle of this strap would be placed right there, and you'd go ahead and sew that strap on making sure that your strap is indeed flat and straight, unless you want it to be twisty. To each his own. I'm going to go ahead and sew this strap side onto this side of the market bag, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So here is the finished market bag. We started at the bottom with a nice half double crochet base, and then we worked up some of the mesh stitch rows, created our cute and fun little butterfly image on both sides of our bag. We've got the top of our bag finishing with some more mesh stitching, a nice single crochet solid edge at the top, and our single crochet strap. And now we have a really functional, useful, fun, and cute market bag to use. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please be sure to like this video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye!